Chapter 23. Leaves were yellowing. The potato plants had grown to full height and stood in flower. The shooting season came round again. I shot hare and ptarmigan and grouse. One day I shot an eagle. Calm, open sky, cool nights, many clear tones and dear sounds in the woods and fields. The earth was resting, vast and peaceful. I have not heard anything from Aramac about the 2 guillemots I shot. I said to the doctor, "You can thank Edwarda for that," he said. "I know. I heard that she set herself against it." "I do not thank her for it," said I. Indian summer. The stars lay like belts in through yellowing woods. A new star came every day. The moon showed like a shadow of gold dipped in silver. Heaven help you. Ava, are you married? Didn't you know that? No, I didn't know. She pressed my hand silently. God help you, child. What are we to do now? What you will? Perhaps you are not going away just yet. I will be happy as long as you are here. No, Ava. Yes, only as long as you are here. She looked forsaken, kept pressing my hand. No, Ava, go. Never any more. Nights pass and days come. 3 days already since this last talk. Ava comes by with a load. How much wood has that child carried home from the forest this summer alone? Set the load down, Ava, and let me see if your eyes are as blue as ever. Her eyes were red. No, smile again, Ava. I can resist no more. I am yours. Evening, Ava sings. I hear her singing, and a warmth goes through me. You are singing this evening, child? Yes, I am happy. And being smaller than I, she jumps up a little to put her arms around my neck. But Ava, you have scratched your hands. Her God, oh, if you had not scratched them so. It doesn't matter. Her face beams wonderfully. Ava, have you spoken to Aramac? Yes, once. What did he say, and what did you? He is so hard with us now. He makes my husband work day and night down at the quay and keeps me at all sorts of jobs as well. He has ordered me to do a man's work now. Why does he do that? Ava looks down. Why does he do that, Ava? Because I love you. But how could he know? I told him. Pause. Would to heaven he were not so harsh with you, Ava? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all now. And her voice is like a little tremulous song in the woods. The wood's more yellow still. It is drawing toward autumn now. A few more stars have come in the sky, and from now on the moon looks like a shadow of silver dipped in gold. There is no cold, nothing, only a cool stillness and a flow of life in the woods. Every tree stands in silent thought. The berries are ripe. Then the 22nd of August and the 3 iron nights. Chapter 24. The first iron night. At night the sun sets. A dull darkness settles over the earth. A star or so can be seen. 2 hours later there is a glow of the moon. I wander up in the woods with my gun and my dog. I light a fire, and the light of the flame shines in between the fir trunks. There is no frost. The first iron night. I say, and a confused, passionate delight, and the time and the place sends a strange shiver through me. Hail, men and beasts and birds, to the lonely night in the woods. Hail to the darkness and God's murmuring between the trees, to the sweet, simple melody of silence in my ears, to green leaves and yellow. Hail to the life sound I hear, a snout against the grass, a dog sniffing over the ground, a wild hail to the wild cat lying crouched, sighting and ready to spring, on a sparrow in the dark, in the dark. Hail to the merciless silence upon the earth, to the stars and the half-moon, aye, to them and to it. I rise and listen. No one has heard me. I sit down again. Thanks for lonely night, for the hills, the rush of the darkness and the sea through my heart. Thanks for my life, for my breath, for the boon of being alive tonight. Thanks from my heart for these. Here, east and west, oh, here, it is the eternal God. The silence murmuring in my ears is the blood of all nature seething. It is God weaving through the world and me. I see glistening gossamer thread in the light of my fire. I hear a boat rowing across the harbor. The northern lights flare over the heavens to the north. By my immortal soul, I am full of thanks that it is I who am sitting here. Silence. A fir cone falls dully to the ground. A fir cone fell, I think to myself. The moon is high, the fire flickers over the half-burned brands and is dying. And in the late night, I wander home. The second iron night, the same stillness and mild weather. My soul is pondering. I walk mechanically over to the tree, pull my cap down deep over my eyes, and lean against that tree, with hands clasped behind my neck. I gaze and think. The flame from my fire dazzles my eyes, and I do not feel it. I stand in that stupor for a while, looking at the fire. My legs fail me first and grow tired, thoroughly stiff. I sit down. Not till then do I think of what I've been doing. Why should I stare so long at the fire? Aesop lifts his head and listens. He hears footsteps. Ava appears among the trees. I am very thoughtful and sad this evening, I say, and in sympathy she makes no answer. I love 3 things, I go on. I love a dream of love I once had. I love you, and I love this spot of ground. And which do you love the most? The dream. All still again. Aesop knows Ava. He lays his head on one side and looks at her. I murmur. I saw a girl on the road today. She walked arm in arm with her lover. The girl looked toward me and could scarcely keep from laughing as I passed. What was she laughing at? I don't know. At me, I suppose. Why do you ask? Did you know her? Yes, I bowed. And didn't she know you? No, she acted as if she didn't know me. But why do you sit there, worming things out of me? It is not a nice thing to do. You will not get me to tell you her name. Pause. I murmur again. What was she laughing at? She is a flirt, but what was she laughing at? What had I done to harm her? Ava answers. It was cruel of her to laugh at you. No, it was not cruel of her, I cry. How dare you sit there speaking ill of her? She never did an unkind thing. It was only right that she should laugh at me. Be quiet, devil take you, and leave me in peace. Do you hear? And Ava, terrified, leaves me in peace. I look at her and repent my harsh words at once. I fall down before her, wringing my hands. Go home, Ava. It is you I love most. How could I love a dream? It was only a jest. It is you I love. But go home now. I will come to you tomorrow. Remember, I am yours. Yes, do not forget it. Good night. And Ava goes home. The third iron night, a night of extremes, tension. If only there were a little frost. Instead, still heat after the sun of the day. The night is like a lukewarm marsh. I light my fire. Ava can be a delight at times to be dragged by the hair, so strangely can the mind of a man be warped. He can be dragged by the hair over hill and dale, and if asked what is happening, can answer in ecstasy, "I am being dragged by the hair." And if anyone asks, "But shall I not help you, release you?" he answers, "No." And if they ask, "But how can you endure it?" he answers, "I can endure it, for I love the hand that drags me." Ava, do you know what it is to hope? Yes, I think so. Look you, Ava, hope is a strange thing, a very strange thing. You can go out one morning along on the road, hoping to meet one whom you are fond of, and do you? No. Why not? Because that one is busy that morning, is somewhere else perhaps. Once I got to know an old blind lap up on the hills. For 58 years he had seen nothing, and now he was over 70. It seemed to him that his sight was getting better little by little, getting on gradually, he thought. If all went well, he would be able to make out the sun in a few years' time. His hair was still black, but his eyes were quite white. When he sat in his hut smoking, he would tell of all the things he had seen before he went blind. He was hearty and strong, without feeling, indestructible, and he kept his hope. When I was going, he came out with me, and began pointing in different ways. "There is the south," he said, "and there is the north. Now you go that way first, and when you get a little way down, turn off that way." "Quite right," I said, and at that the Lap laughed contentedly, and said, "There, I did not know that 40 or 50 years back, so I must see better now than I used to. Yes, it is improving all the time." And then he crouched down and crept into his hut again. The same old hut, his home on earth, and he sat down by the fire as before, full of hope that in some few years he would be able to make out the sun. Ava, 'tis strange about hope. Here am I, for instance, hoping all the time that I may forget this one I did not meet on the road this morning. You talk so strangely. It is the third of the iron nights. I promise you, Ava, to be a different man tomorrow. Let me alone now. You will not know me again tomorrow. I shall laugh and kiss you, my own sweet girl. Just think. Only this one night more, a few hours, and then I shall be a different man. Good night, Ava. Good night. I lay down closer to the fire and look at the flames. A pine cone falls from the branch. A dry twig or so falls too. The night is like a boundless depth. I close my eyes. After an hour, my senses begin swinging in a certain rhythm. I am ringing in tune with great stillness, ringing with it. I look at the half moon. It stands in the sky like a white scale, and I have a feeling of love for it. I can feel myself blushing. It is the moon, I say softly and passionately. It is the moon, and my heart strikes toward it in a soft throbbing. So for some minutes, it's blowing a little. A stranger wind comes to me, a mysterious current of air. What is it? I look around, but see no one. The wind calls me, and my soul bows, acknowledging the call. And I feel myself lifted into the air, pressed into an invisible breast. My eyes are dewed. I tremble. God is standing near, watching me. Again, several minutes pass. I turn my head round. The stranger wind is gone, and I see something like the back of a spirit wandering silently in through the woods. I struggle a short while with a heavy melancholy. I was worn out with emotions. I am deathly tired, and I sleep. When I awoke, the night was past. Alas, I have been going about for a long time in a sad state, full of fever, on the verge of falling down, stricken with some sickness or other. Often things had seemed upside down. I had been looking at everything through inflamed eyes. A deep misery had possessed me. It was over now.